Dalton Castle will get 5 minutes alone with LeBar if he wins. LeBar's not a superstar. LeBar's not a wrestler. He's not trained for this.
No, he's barely a human being. And RJ sent into the guardrail, and Dalton Castle continuing this reign of dominance. He's been on for a year. I believe he's the third longest reigning IWC champion there has ever been. He's beaten Doc Gallows, Bobby Fish, Zema Ion, so many down the line. Jimmy Vegas, they've all stepped up to Dalton, but none of them have been able to take the crown.
Yeah, certainly one of the most epic runs here in IWC, an incredible tenure for a champion. It's not easy to have a long title reign in this day and age with so many tough competitors constantly coming after you. Everybody wants an opportunity. Everybody wants a shot at what matters most.
Dalton has really dominated the field over the past 12 months, but so too can be said about RJ City in the Super Indy division. We talked about winning that tournament, beating Facade and Sammy Guevara in the final round. He survived Matt Taven on the way there. He survived Andrew Palace on the way there.
Oh, my!
Ouch. He defended against M-Dog Matt Cross. RJ has faced some of the best Super Indy-style athletes we've seen and beat them. Oh! And it hasn't always been ethical. RJ hasn't always done it on the straight and narrow, but the bottom line is he's done it. And the end result, by hook or crook, could be RJ City IWC champion, and this company will absolutely change if it does.
What's Castle got on his mind? Oh! Vicious.
And this match has not even gotten in the ring yet.
Now, Joe, correct me here, because you know better than me, but it seems like Castle has not given in to many games, has not let competitors...
Oh, look at this! Oh. That's Dalton's signature maneuver, that deadlift German. But RJ counters. That could have been not just the end of the match, the end of RJ City.
It seems like Castle has really let LeBar and City get inside his head. Would you agree?
I would say so, and I think Castle's usually a guy that's perpetrating the mind games. Loves calling himself the party peacock. Loves to have fun out here. But Castle, we've seen on IWC Aftershock and IndyWrestling.us, Dalton's not even safe in his own locker room.
You can see LeBar antagonizing, talking smack. God only knows what he's saying. I just wonder, is Castle thinking ahead? Is he thinking about getting that 5 minutes alone with LeBar and letting that overshadow the fact that he's got to pin City's shoulders to the mat?
That is a very good question. LeBar certainly has acquired a lot of knowledge.
Look at LeBar in there. Come on.
Oh.
Who wouldn't want to knock him out?
As if the leather jacket and white shoes weren't obnoxious enough.
LeBar's made a lot of enemies in this promotion over the last year.
And now that you're here, we have a new one.
Joe, I can tell you firsthand. I knew LeBar many years ago. He was such a nice, polite, fresh-faced kid. But since his show has grown, he's got more views, his ego has spiraled out of control.
I'll tell you what, and you know what? Shame on me, but I was one of the first high-ranking individuals to let Justin LeBar into the professional wrestling business.
Sure.
And this is not the same Justin LeBar that I knew. He's completely transformed.
No.
And honestly, it's one of the decisions I regret. And the match is finally started.
We get a bell. Maybe that was the wake-up call Castle needed.
Yeah. Now we're in Dalton's element. But I find it very encouraging, just the vastly different type of styles Dalton has been able to defeat. Of course, you're familiar with Doc Gallows, formerly Luke Gallows, 300-pound,
sure,
smash mouth in your face, and DJ Z, who's the antithesis of Gallows, but still very, very skilled in his own right, and equal on par with him in terms of danger for winning a championship. Dalton's overcome both, and a lot in between.
Sure. Castle's a fighting champion. He's a proud competitor. He's made it clear that anybody who wants to travel, hold on, to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he'll take them on. But I'm not so sure any matchup has been this personal.
Check out that deadlift. Check out that quad strength, that lower body that it takes to elevate somebody from the ground with negative leverage, no momentum, and take them overhead.
But here's what I'm noticing again, Joe. Look at where Castle's looking. Right now, his focus continues to be on Justin LeBar. He's giving LeBar glances. Is that going to take away the energy he needs to concentrate on City?
Well, I think that's why Justin LeBar's out there. He's a constant distraction. He's a constant nuisance. He's always renting space in your head. And that perhaps is the most valuable skill that he possesses. And there you see the after effects. RJ connects with Dalton.
I'm sure you would agree, City is the type of competitor where you need 100% focus on him. A very tough individual. The fact that LeBar's providing a distraction right now, uncalled for. Come on, ref.
We've seen LeBar pull gentlemen's legs off the ropes, throw beverages in their faces. LeBar, he's not a tough guy. I'm not sure if he could crack an egg, but he certainly makes his opinion and his presence very well known.
Cover here, hold on. Boy, City almost becoming our new champion right there.
Yeah. And then we wouldn't hear the end of sports entertainment. We wouldn't hear the end of death to technical wrestling and death to high flying.
And you got to believe in the back. The man who has worked so hard to build this promotion the last few years, Chuck Roberts, has got to be pulling for Dalton Castle, who has so proudly carried that title. And we saw moments ago the disdain that Roberts has for LeBar.
Well,
Chuck Roberts would probably love to see LeBar take a 5-minute beating on his last night here in IWC.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, LeBar's made no friends already. He forced Justin Plummer to walk out on his job, and that's disappointing. As much grief as I've given Plummer over the years, he's got a lot of passion and dedication, and did not deserve that in the least.
Well, LeBar and City really crossed the line, from what I understand. Made some derogatory comments about Roberts' family. Really crossed the line with the emotional year that Chuck has had. Certainly, no one should be picking on the great Chuck Roberts.
Not at all, but nothing is sacred to these gentlemen. And what you're going to look for, RJ City loves to finish his opponents in the most simplistic of ways to prove his cause. In his mind, wrestling is boring. It's all about RJ City entertainment. RJ has a lethal sleeper hold. He calls good night, everybody. If that gets cinched in, we may have a new champion. And now both men dangerously, precariously battling on that ring apron. That's the hardest part of a wrestling ring. Metal meets wood.
And look at this again. LeBar, no call for that.
Yeah,
come on, ref.
See. Dalton trying to elevate RJ off that apron with that German suplex.
I'm not sure why LeBar's even allowed to be out here. It's causing major disruption in this championship matchup.
Yeah, technicalities, contract loopholes. He finds ways, trust me. There's the sleeper. Good night, everybody. It's in the ropes, so there cannot lead to a decision, although RJ could have been disqualified.
If that was in the middle of the ring, we'd have a new champion right now.
It's very astute of you. And you can see in just 4.5 seconds the damage it did to Dalton. Right on that carotid artery. And Dalton has to shake the cobwebs.
Surprised we're not hearing any woos tonight. The painful, excruciating chops made famous by Ric Flair, the Nature Boy.
Well, you heard that plain as day. RJ.
Don't threaten the ref, RJ. You don't want to get disqualified. Champion certainly will retain the title.
RJ not in a singing mood. Not in an a cappella mood.
Oh, double axe handle off the top rope.
RJ has come here with a mission, and as successful as RJ has been, as successful as RJ has been, I don't know that I've seen him more focused and determined and serious than he is at this point against Dalton Castle.
Castle, one of the most headstrong and adamant competitors in the Federation, however.
Yeah, Dalton Castle, really, ever since that groundswell of support, ever since that 1.5-year odyssey to get to the IWC title, it's been no looking back. But this may be Dalton's toughest test he's encountered.
City wisely throws Castle to the outside. Is this the opportunity?
Watch LeBar lurking. And Dalton's hurt. Dalton's disoriented.
I'm not so sure Dalton will be able to continue, Joe. This could be it for him.
Well, you'd hate to see it end like this, although the title cannot change hands on a countout. You see Dalton trying to get feeling back into his arm, trying to walk off this pain.
Yeah, having trouble standing on both feet.
That's a scary situation.
May have twisted the ankle. Oh, no. Oh!
Jeez. Dalton gets hung up. I'm not sure if it connected with the throat as RJ intended, but still able to restrict the breathing capacity momentarily. RJ full of himself. RJ's so in his element right now. Everybody's looking at him, center of attention. An attention hog.
Well, before the match, RJ said he was going to give the fans more entertainment than they would ever dream of. Said he would put on a show. He said he's a giver, not a taker.
Well, in RJ's mind, RJ's the most entertaining thing ever. But Dalton, I think each of these blows is just serving to fire him up.
Here comes the spirit of the champion. This is why Dalton has retained the title for over a year here in IWC. Oh!
Dalton responds. Dalton feeling no pain at this point.
Adrenaline running through his veins.
And a much more concerned look in the body language of Justin LaBar. Oh. RJ City just spit on Dalton?
Nothing more disrespectful you can do to a man than spit on him.
And that's only made the cause even worse. Second time's the charm.
Whoa!
Dalton got him on the takeover that time. RJ had countered earlier. You don't expect to see Dalton that light on his feet, but certainly he's able to snap off some very deceptive, agile maneuvers. But again, Dalton just kind of wanders over, tries to walk off, get a respite. RJ in bad shape too, though.
Dalton's staying poised, doing a good job of keeping his composure, but Joe, I've noticed all throughout this match, Dalton seems to be peering at Justin LaBar out of the corner of his eye. I just don't, hold on, cover here.
Got it! No!
I just don't know if Dalton's going to be able to overcome the distraction. Do you see how nervous Justin LaBar is in the background? LaBar realizes he was seconds away right there from 5 minutes of hell. 5 minutes of an ungodly beating.
I think LaBar needs a security blanket.
What's Dalton have on his mind?
Oh, that deadlift German, you gotta believe. It's put so many away. RJ knows it, he's got a hold of the official. Come on.
Totally uncalled for.
RJ goes downstairs, creates the diversion, and follows through.
So resourceful is City.
Make no mistake about that. That is what saved RJ City. RJ City does not do that. Dalton Castle's on his way to the back, still champion.
City is a believer in the old saying, nice guys finish last. He doesn't care if he has to step over his own grandmother to win the championship. That's what he'll do.
And the obligatory 10 count. Neither man is to their feet by the count of 10. This will be a double count out. In a draw, the title goes to the champion. Sounds like RJ's got something in mind.
Back to the sleeper.
Good night, everybody.
AKA the rear naked choke. This time he's gotten in the center of the ring.
And Dalton fading fast.
Can Castle overcome? Are we witnessing the beginning of a new championship reign, Joe?
Oh, I'm a big fan of Dalton Castle. I followed his journey here since day one in IWC, but you gotta believe we're about to see a changing of the guard.
Castle up to his feet. Where's he finding the strength?
Oh, got him again. That's the third time in this contest. And every time RJ's able to slip that on, it does a little bit more damage. And eventually that's going to catch up with Dalton no matter how tough he is.
Sure. Oh. Dalton's so tough, so resilient.
And Dalton just firing away with everything he has at this point.
Oh, my.
RJ with the double knee.
That can do it, Joe. Is that it?
Cover. No! Less than a half a second away from a new IWC champion.
You smell like duty. Joe, I'm certainly not manly enough to be in there. Hold on a second. I give all these competitors all the respect in the world, and I've talked to a few of them who have been in the sleeper hold, aka the rear naked choke, and they say it's a terrible sense of panic. You start feeling your toes and your fingers going numb, and then you just fade out. And that certainly has to be what Castle experienced moments ago. It takes a certain individual to even be able to continue after that.
Yeah, we've seen Dalton try to shake his arm, walk on a limp, try to get feeling back in those body parts. Oh, look at this!
Oh! Shoots the half.
Got it!
Oh.
And not even a kick out, but just grabbing the rope. And I think Labar's having heart palpitations.
I think he is too. Lamar realizes him and his main client could be in some serious trouble.
That German again, but RJ grabbing on once again to whatever he can. Referee trying to cause a break, and what is Labar doing? I don't want to take my eyes off of him. Oh, the German!
Oh,
got
beautiful!
It! Got it! Oh no!
Dalton couldn't hold him.
Oh, the arm gave out. That arm and shoulder.
Dislocated his shoulder.
Oh, that would have been it. That's the second time RJ got saved.
I'm worried about the champ. He may have tore his rotator cuff. I mean, victory was literally in his grasp, but he couldn't withstand the pain.
Requires such a degree of power, such a degree of precision to pull off a maneuver like that, and certainly wrestling sometimes is a game of inches, and sometimes your body just will not cooperate with your mind. Hopefully, Dalton can recover.
I believe the official was encouraging Castle to call it quits.
Again! Come on, Labar!
Hold on! Come
No, not like this! RJ almost stole it. We've seen that many a times with a Super Indy title.
Oh, no.
Pile driver counter.
Beautiful reversal. He
Dalton!
got